Well. Welcome, everybody, to the 15th episode of the Made in Dreams podcast. I am your host, the metaphysically wrinkle-free fat daddy, Mighty Vicious, here with last season's Game of Scones winner, also CEO of the Lotion Lobby. Yeah, because I'll never let him. I will
let it
for
go.
for the people.
Let
I will
it
never
go.
for the people. I will never let it go. You will accept this title anyway. The point is, Jammy James is here with us, and we have the senpai himself, Sakku.
Hello. I'm happy to be here for the first time.
Awesome. The first of many times.
Oh, yeah?
So, as always, we're going to jump right. Oh, no. Spicy Waffles said that the Lotion Lobby is shut down due to COVID. No. It is an essential service. It is an essential service. Okay?
Oh,
The
my
Lotion
God.
Lobby never closes. Ever. Never compromise. Not even in the face of Armageddon, my friends. Anyway, so let's go ahead and jump into it. Let Sakku Senpai take it away from us and tell us a little bit about himself. Let us know, sir. Tell us about your dreams.
Yeah, I would love to. First, Sakku, probably a lot of people know me from maybe YouTube or the Dreams community in general. 24 years old, living in Germany, Stuttgart, and I've been a part of the Dreams community way back before the beta even started. I've been doing a fan page on Instagram and stuff. And then I was there from beta day one. I've been really looking forward to this. I was like a kid before Christmas, really. And I was so excited for the beta, and since then I'm pretty much a part of it, part of the community, almost doing dreams every day, I guess. And there's a lot of journey that I love with dreams now. There's so much happened, and I guess we're still at the beginning.
Yeah. And are you schooled in graphic design or?
I started with media design. I had school in media design, and then I jumped over to video editing, which I found more exciting. When I got into video editing, I first learned about dreams from a friend of mine, and I found it so exciting from the first time watching it. I think the first night where I got to know about dreams, I watched all of their streams available by the time. And yeah, since then I kind of made the change to more 3D. I'm still using video editing, of course, but not as creative anymore. Yeah, now I really fell in love with especially environment art. I also founded a little indie studio now in Dreams. Maybe you guys know that as well. Adventure Games.
Yes.
And yeah, we have a little team now, 10 people, and we're developing the Crystal Guardian, which will be hopefully one of the coolest Dreams games out there.
Yes, I have seen the trailer for that. And I was intending on asking you about that. But yeah, you've already walked us into it. You said that you got into environmental art. But I've followed you for a while, since I first started Dreams. One of the first
cool
YouTubes that I actually subscribed to try to learn to get better and not be horrible forever. And I wanted to know, have you ever heard of Feng Ju?
No.
He's a artist, or an artist that started an actual art school, but he deals a lot on YouTube and environmental art, and a lot of the set pieces that you've created reminded me of him. Not necessarily same style or anything like that, but just certain lines and the use of color really stood out to me, and it's probably just because I consider you both to be amazing, but yeah, I was wondering if you had heard of him. But I guess let's go on from that. On one of your more recent videos, you were talking about the future of dreams, and you told us that you just recently got into PS5, or you acquired a PS5, and you did
Yeah, just yesterday.
Yeah, and you had said that in this video that there was going to be a different that you believe there's going to be a different dreams, not just an update, but an actual different
Ooh.
dreams for PS5.
No, that is
I don't
interesting.
necessarily mean a different dreams, rather like a real PS5 version that well features the or has the capacity for the power of the PS5. But now it seems more like because of how Media Molecule handled it now, they said that they will be supporting both consoles for now,
Mm-hmm.
and we will see maybe in the future what's happening then, you know. And I feel
Okay.
like now there's like a slow change coming. They maybe upgraded a little bit, but what I'm really happy about is that I was actually right with some of the things just by already the performance boost. With the PS5 version of Dreams now, without even being upgraded, we can already use more paintings and stuff, more physicals, and that's what I mentioned in the video as well.
Yeah.
And I'm
Mhm.
really happy about that already. Of course, we also have now the locked 60 FPS. Like you can't even break it; it's impossible, pretty much. And that's also a really cool thing.
Yeah. And I would say I brought that up because I've brought up on multiple occasions that I thought that Dreams might still be in its actual beta. And so
Yeah,
I've
John
and
also said it's still the very beginning of Dreams. I think there's a lot to come still.
yeah. And so yeah, I mean, you also didn't seem to have an issue with things we've discussed in the past as far as whether or not this would fracture the community. And you seem maybe not as boisterous as I usually am about it, but you seem, but you seem to be not just not really afraid of that becoming a case.
No, I feel like okay, so in the beginning there were not many people have a PS5. Right now
Mm-hmm.
there seem to be the majority that didn't get a PS5 so far, so it will be hard in the beginning because now of course the people with the PS5 like even especially the creators who really like to create and push its limits, they want to try some PS5 stuff and I can already see that the PS5 creations now they will completely break the FPS of the PS4's version right now. So that maybe is
Yeah.
a struggle, but I feel like they should definitely handle it like they did for VR, so you can tag a PS5 creation. That people can also see it in the terminal, so they can create a version that is available for both if they want to. But if they want to push the PS5, they should be able to go for it because right now, for me, it even seems like Dreams was designed for more, you know, just by
Yeah.
seeing
Oh
the
yeah.
performance boost.
I mean, we've said it before in the past. You know, it's a miracle that Dreams even works on a PS4, and I think it was always intended to be created for the PS5 because you know Dreams was released at nearly the end of the PS4's life cycle, and
Yeah,
it just seems that they had to support it purely because of the numbers that are on PS4, in the hopes that it will migrate over to PS5. But it's it's difficult to say how they're going to deal with it, but I think the easiest way for them to deal with it is, like you said, to have the same approach as they did with VR and be able to tag your creations so people are aware if it will work or not on their system. But I think also what would be quite a decent feature is if they could turn on a toggle to be able to create something for both platforms, and it would sort of cap everything. So once the PS5 version does come out and we have availability to be able to add more assets and add more stuff into the dream itself, if you were to put this toggle on, it would cap it to the limit of what the PS4 is able to run. So that way it will work on both. So at least the creator has the option to create an all out PS5 version or create a version that will run on both systems.
yeah, I think that would also be definitely a great option. I think it's similar to the idea that you can just see it in the terminal when it's not anymore
Mm,
available for the PS4.
yeah.
I've seen a lot of people wanting to have more terminal in general. I think that is not really the problem because a lot of us creators by now realized how you can actually efficiency use the thermometer. And I often more had struggles with painting, spotlights, physicals, and all that stuff rather than the real thermo itself. So
Huh.
I don't know about that. I still hope they will bring an update in the future, but for now, I'm really happy already with the performance boost, and I will definitely you can expect something soon that I will try on the
Oh yeah.
PS5.
I mean, I think it's only a matter of time. I think once the majority of the PS4 players have adapted to PS5, that's when they will sort of come out with this all-out PS5 version. But I think they would be quite reluctant to release this all-out PS5 version until there is a heavy support for PS5. Because as we said, you know, as of right now, I would say 80% of people that want a PS5 is not able to get one. So I think probably 18 months to 2 years from now, we'll probably see this massive Dreams update where there's this fully blown PS5 version, and then everyone will just eventually just migrate to it. No different from other generations when you migrate from PS3 to PS4 or PS2 to PS3. It takes time. And I think after the initial amount of people have adapted, they'll release this update, and that will push the last few to finally make the jump to PS5.
Yeah, it probably takes some time for sure.
Do you have experience in any other game engines, or I would say, what other like art programs do you use?
Oh yeah, I can dive a little bit deeper into that. So when I started video editing, I first learned Vegas, and then I started also just a little bit 3D in Cinema 4D, which is
Ooh.
like quite professional program, I would say. But by now, I would absolutely just never use it again since I used to.
Really? Wow.
because it like the rendering times are insane. When you use glass in there, your renders will take like hours for a 10 seconds clip.
Yeah.
And that is just crazy. But I don't have the best PC, I gotta say that. And yeah, for me, Cinema 4D was just like super, well, in the beginning, overwhelming, complicated and stuff. When I got a little bit into it, it was a little bit easier, but I didn't do crazy complex stuff in there. I got to use some camera work in there, which definitely helped me in Dreams. And it was also that I brought in a different take from that because I used camera work with keyframes, and I realized that people were surprised about that because they used like cameras that they just connect with how it's shown in the tutorial, but I'll do all the dolly shots and stuff with keyframes. And I definitely brought in that experience, but other than that, I never really used 3D before. I really just got into it with Dreams, and what I can straight away tell every beginner out there is that it really helped me in the beta and the early access to first start with reference pictures a lot, like take a reference picture and first try to create the first few things there. Because in the beta, when I started, I definitely wasn't as good as you may know my last pieces and stuff. I was definitely my creations looked like maybe every other Dreams beginner's creation.
See, and that's interesting to me. One reason is the main thing that I would like to see, you know, outside of the audio thing that I constantly complain and bicker about, is the and the opacity to shape to sculpts. It's the idea that
Oh yeah.
what would you say? I guess, how do you
Do it.
stay? Well, I would say, how do you stay motivated? Because I say that because one of the many things, and I've talked about this across the last few podcasts, but I've noticed that I'm seeing a lot of people saying that they're burning out and everything. And whenever I know someone personally that does it, I'm like, hey, like, take a step back. And I know, because I've watched your videos, there have been times where even you have, you know, been like, yeah, I got to step back for a little bit. But how do you stay motivated to working in Dreams, and what would you say as I guess advice to people who are, you know, working in Dreams, might be getting frustrated, might be getting burnt out? Is there anything you could say that would help them kind of understand like where you have to be at as an artist? Or
Oh yeah, that is definitely a really interesting question that I think every artist has to face at some point, because art is something that is very creative. You need to have like the heart for it as well, the mind. And sometimes, definitely, as you said, I also get burned out or I don't have as much creativity or motivation. But for me personally, I have so much fun creating in Dreams that when I start something, that's the point. When I start something, then I'm really getting more into the flow. I have a lot of fun, and then it's easier to keep working on something. But An advice I would definitely tell everyone out there is take a goal that you can actually achieve at first. Don't go into dreams and try to make the next Skyrim or something. That is always a bad thing to go for. Like,
That's something that a lot of people tried at first, though. I mean, when Dreams first came out, all you saw on like the community pages was my RPG is coming, my open world RPG, and then it just died like 3 weeks later, and everyone's asking, "Where's all these RPGs?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's not happening."
Yeah, exactly. Don't try or don't start with that intention. If you learn dreams at first, accept the fact that you're bad at it at first, that it takes a while to learn. Yeah, that you're learning. You're maybe not as good with the controls yet. It's maybe frustrating, but you got to push through. And once you eventually did that, then you can learn more and more to eventually shape literally your dreams. You can make anything you want, and that is the crazy thing. And then I think people should really set goals they can actually achieve for their skills, or maybe set goals they can improve on as well and can be happy with, because in the end, it's all about happiness. That's also, or having joy with it, you know?
Yeah.
And that's also something I gotta keep in mind when I do the whole YouTube thing. I don't gotta let it take over being work.
Yeah.
That is definitely a thing that I struggle with sometimes. Sometimes I see, oh, I gotta still do the recording or stuff, but then I keep enjoying what I do really and what I create, and I keep finding this flow then. Like when I'm into a scene, for example, and I start to like the scene, then I'm like smiling all the time because, oh, that's so cool that I created this, and then I keep on it going and stuff. Yeah, but sometimes I think when you're working for something bigger, maybe in a team, or you want to make a game with other people or doing some content stuff, you got to keep remembering to start up Dreams or any other art software to just have joy as well. I think that's also really important.
And on the initial piece of advice that you had brought up, as far as like going from a actual like reference material, that's that's one of the biggest things, and you could test this for me and get back to me on it later. But PS4 had a web browser that was rarely ever used, and I was wondering, because PS5 has the picture-in-picture, I was wondering if you can use like a browser to actually set up a picture-in-picture reference while you're sculpting.
That's also what I thought about. That would be absolutely insane and such a big help. I didn't test the features yet. I'm actually, after this podcast, I'm meeting with my mate that I'm producing Crystal Guardian with, Kaduko. I'll go in a party with him and test this feature. So I can't tell you about it yet because I didn't test it, but I think I'm not sure if it's with the browser, but you can definitely share screens from a party, and that alone is insane. For example, when we work together, I work on the level and the environment, and he wants to show me something with the logic. He can just screen it onto our party and show it to me straight away, and that is so crazy good in my opinion for Dreams, especially.
Oh yeah, it's going to add an extra layer to the collaborative side of Dreams, and you know, for me personally, Dreams is one of the most collaborative places that I've ever worked. And it's absolutely amazing. And the PS5 feature set of that picture-in-picture is only going to enhance that even more, especially for people who are working in teams. It's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, I really hope it is a thing that at least gets worked on. Which kind of leads me into, I know I'm rattling off questions, so Jamie, I've kind of
no, please. Look, I can hear the excitement in your voice. So you keep going, and I'll bounce off you.
I'm telling you, I'm speaking to my idol. I'm just going. Just let me get everything out. No,
that's all right. You go for it.
So, I didn't came to that, but thank you so much for saying that I'm amazing. I didn't come to thank you. Thank you very much.
Facts are
supporting me since back then. To everyone out there, I don't know how many people listen to this, but I'm really thankful to anyone supporting.
Indeed, thank you.
I will say one thing before you go into your question. Is the one thing that really impresses me about your work, Sakku, is the sheer depth to all your environments.
Yes.
It seems it's the one thing that just really makes it shine, is the absolute depth that you put into your work. You just keep going and going, and there is no corner where you can't see depth to, and it really adds to that immersive field. and your work is so amazing. It's so fantastical. Like, you know, it's very fantasy based, and the
Oh
fact that
yeah.
there is so much depth. Like, you can really look in the distance and see all sorts of things going on. It's not just clouds or trees to cover in the depth in the background. You add all these extra little details of things that people would necessarily miss, but you add them anyway, and that shows such a passion for the work, and it really does add an extra layer of, I would say, uniqueness to your work, because I don't really see a lot of people that add such detail to the depth in their work as you do.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And you're right. I'm focusing a lot on little details, and I would say, as you said, like making the end of a level seem seamless or fitting to the scene is actually an art for itself. So that's also
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
something not easy, but I pay a lot of attention to that as well. I also listen to a lot of art podcasts and professional 3D stuff. I watch that a lot to learn as well and get that into dreams.
Well, after we're done, I'm going to send you that guy I mentioned earlier,
Yes,
because
please.
I think you'll be able to see what I mean when I was like putting you both in the same league. But I guess back to the questions, because I want to get a little deeper. I want to get a little deeper. Just imagine that the lotion is on your skin now. So basically, what we're saying is, let's spice it up for a minute before I go back into my creation process questions. And this is something that I had been thinking the moment I saw it, but I don't know if anyone else agrees with me. Do we believe as a community, as people who are thinking about this, do we believe that Media Molecule made the next jam a co-op thing as a secret hint to what's coming? The co-op jam?
Oh, that's a good question. I didn't think about this actually. Who
I
knows?
immediately, yeah,
Maybe. I really like co-op games in general. Hammer Time is one of my favorite games from Media
amazing,
Molecule.
amazing.
It's so good.
I actually realized they renamed it Hammer Panning. Or was that always the name? I don't know. But I really like that game, and I would love to see more co-op games because nothing can replace a good co-op with friends, like on a real couch and stuff. So that's really cool. But if there's some taste towards multiplayer, that would be absolutely awesome. But since I think they're still looking for 2 positions on the multiplayer thing. So sadly, I think it's still a little bit far.
I wouldn't say it's too far off. I think they would have put a lot of the groundwork in, and I think it's quite possible that the whole multiplayer could also be a beta. It could be released to only a select few of people to test it out and give feedback on the stability of it before they release it to everybody. And because obviously releasing it to everyone is going to be a lot more demanding on the servers than what it would be to release to a select amount of people to get feedback on how it runs with just a limited amount of people. So I definitely think that it's quite possible we will see multiplayer soon, but not everybody.
Oh yeah, that could definitely be a possibility since they kind of did it the same with the beta and VR as well.
Exactly, yeah, they did the same thing with VR, so I see no reason why they wouldn't do it with multiplayer.
True.
And so, Sakku, let me be straight with you. Very rarely do I visit the lotions, but when you said something during one of your latest videos that really did kind of it got me a little hot, if you know what I mean.
I'm not sure if I know what I mean.
I think you know what I mean. But look, you had brought up the idea of there's 2 parts to this question, by the way, and yes, Eddie, that is correct. Basically, you had brought up the DualSense and with PS5 being able to possibly use the tension and the triggers and everything in dreams.
It is so great, dude. The DualSense is absolutely insane. I gotta say that.
Do you believe that's something that we're actually gonna get, or do you feel like it's gonna be more of a basic like rumble function that's in dreams? Like they won't give us the full the full breadth of what that could mean.
So on the one side, I would say MM is definitely very experimental. They're very, I think, excited for that kind of stuff. So I could definitely see it in dreams. But then again, I don't know the technical side of these things. I don't know how hard it is for developers to put these specific vibrations and stuff into the controller, how to program that, and I don't know how it's possible with the Dreams engine, so I can't really tell. But from how I see MM, I think they would definitely have a joy diving into that, and I really, really hope so, because after testing the PS5 now for 1.5 days, I would say the controller is actually the craziest feature of them all. It is so good. It is such a different experience to compared to before, and I would love to see it in Dreams.
I personally think that the DualSense is one of the most revolutionary pieces of hardware in next gen. I mean, granted, the upgrades to graphics and ray tracing and speed and everything is all great, but the DualSense controller is one of those new things, and everybody is raving about it right now. And I think Media Molecule would be stupid not to take advantage of that. And they're going to have full support from Sony with it. They're a first-party studio, and all first-party studios are going to have this the adaptive triggers and motion haptic feedback added into their games anyway. So why would it be any different for Media Molecule?
Yeah, I mean those are all good points, which leads me into my next one. You had brought up the idea of a self-made or customizable Fleck system.
Yes, my most wanted feature.
Yes,
Wow, that would be amazing.
And this is something that I've talked about a lot, because I come from graphic arts illustration, and Photoshop and all them, they have this create your own paintbrush and all that. But do you think that's something that they would actually add? And I say that only because, with a question mark, because God, I would love it. I would love that option so much. I would rub it all over me. But the point is that it's just like, I feel like there's certain things where it's like, I feel like if they could have it, they would, kind of just like the opacity to sculpts. It's like you have opacity to other things. There's no way you went all the way through beta and nobody was like, hey, maybe we should have it so that we can make a translucent, dome. Like, and so it brings into question, like, I would love it, but do you think they do it or can do it?
Yeah, that's a really hard question. Well, first,
I mean, you work at Media Molecule, so I mean, I'm trying to. No, I'm just. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, first, I think people need to understand how crazy the idea is of customizable flags, because you could apply to anything. And you know how we're making grass out of 3D in 1 minute. And when we can do that with other flags, that is so insanely crazy, just because of the fact that we can put it on anything. But it would really change the engine itself. I would imagine it to be like you can draw something and then you just save it, and then you have it like the custom color up there. Yeah. And that would be so crazy good. But can they actually pull it off? I can't tell you. I'm not really on the technical side of these things. For the 3D stuff I talked about, John, it was something with the engine that they can't pull it off. At least that was for the PS4 the case. So I hope something changed with the PS5. I have no idea. But I would love to see it. Like with the customizable flags, I don't see a reason why that wouldn't work, but because they created those, of course, as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel now, I don't know how the intricacies of the Bubble Bath engine works, but from my experience of watching how Dreams was made and how everything works, it seems that the flex that's in Dreams is pretty much what makes it possible to even run on the PlayStation. I think the flex system has a lot to do with how it's optimized to run on the console. So the fact that being able to make your own flex, I don't think it would be a thing. I think personally those custom flex that Media Molecule have made are specifically made in a certain way where It just works well for the console itself. Personally.
I don't like your answer.
Yeah, let's
But
choose a more optimistic one.
yeah, we're gonna choose the more optimistic one because
All right.
but the only reason I say that, is because you know me, and I've brought up countless times that I want to be able to hook my Wacom up to the PS4, 5, whatever, and the thing that makes it hard for me to see them doing it is because I like the ability to do that, like to make your own custom fleck, to me works best when you're able to completely 100% control your line. And that's something that makes me like, it keeps me at bay from dreams a little bit because I work a lot. I'm a line artist. And so, you know, for me, I really hate when I can't recreate or just do the line I want. Like when I have to start tweaking things, and so I'm just like, just let me draw the line, dude. Like that's how I get, you know. And it's no, I'm not saying this is a shortcoming of like dreams, but it's just how I am as an artist. Like it's why I deal in paints and pencil more than anything else. And I feel like if this were to be a thing, it would be a thing because they had some hope, maybe even a back idea that they would allow some sort of like Wacom acceptability. And the reason I know somebody is going to say, as y'all have said to me before, that hey, you got the Move controllers. I'm sorry, it's not the same. It's just
Oh yeah,
not.
that's a question I have for you. If you like draw a lot with the graphics tablet and stuff, how do you feel is drawing with the Move controllers in Dream?
Awful.
Really?
No, let me stop. I'm just I don't
Because
feel I
personally, that's also something you asked about my artistic background. I also draw a little bit. It's not like I draw too much. I got a little bit into it, and I would say I can half decently draw. I also drew a little bit on the graphics tablet. It's a cheap graphics tablet, but I think it is not too different with the Move controllers. Of course, you don't have the layers, and it is a little bit weird with how the flags are layered in general. I feel like sometimes they're just higher, and sometimes not. If you like, especially when you draw over something, it is really hard to draw on the same layer sometimes.
yeah.
But I feel like it's definitely possible to draw cool pictures with the moves. I would say it's not really that possible with the DS4. That's
No,
why I switched to the moves. But yeah,
and I really do mean that in a joking way.
yeah.
Because like it's not awful, but it's more so I feel like it's an expressionistic version of what I wanted to draw.
All right.
Like
Yeah.
it's not as nailed down and finite as I like my style to be, which in a way is liberating to not just make it seem like I'm I'm crapping on dreams here. Like with any new thing, you're going to have to kind of change how you do it. You're going to have to really you create a new style with every new medium that you gain, that you start to learn, use, whether it's Blender or Photoshop or Illustrator, you gain a new way of looking at art. And I've started to develop that in dreams, so I'm appreciative of it. But at the same time, there are times where I'm just like, hey, I really wish I could just get my line. Like the line that I'm exactly looking for that would take me 2 seconds on anything else to just go, there's my line.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean. I
Yeah.
definitely have it like that. I go, Control C a lot of times for
Yeah.
the for
So,
uh,
yeah.
for the line. But I think already switching from the controller to the Move controllers to draw is a big change, and I don't think those Move controllers are made for super precise movements. I'm actually already surprised how well it works to draw in dreams and stuff.
Yeah.
I
And
think
But
it's just the matter of it being a learning curve, and especially for someone like yourself, Will, that comes from an artistic background, you would obviously see the major differences of drawing on a tablet to drawing in Dreams. So you would obviously see the major differences there. But I think for the majority of people that go into Dreams that have no prior experience to anything visual, and I think that's the majority of people that actually play Dreams, it would become just a second nature to learn in the way that Dreams is providing it because they've had no prior experience doing it in any other platform.
yeah.
good point there.
I just want my Wacom support.
It's not gonna happen. let's just put that out there. I don't think any external devices will ever come to Dreams because it sort of goes against the grain of what Dreams is. You know, it's to use the devices that you have for the console and make all this amazing stuff with it. If they add Wacom support, mouse and keyboard, it sort of takes, at least for me, it takes away the magic of what Dreams is, and it just becomes another engine. The fact that you do it all with this proprietary equipment makes it unique.
See, yeah, I felt like I knew where you were coming from before when you would say that, but that's something where I kind of don't agree on. And Sakku, come in with your thoughts as well. But like, really, these consoles are computers now. Like, let's not lie to ourselves. They're getting closer and closer to a
Oh, yeah.
PC. And
Yeah.
being that they literally use everything a PC uses, the idea that they can't have drivers, I don't think that takes away anything from Dreams. Like, the idea that you can do, like, it seems, and this isn't something, when I say this, I'm not talking about Media Molecule, and I'm responding completely to what James just said. And it's the idea that you lose something with the more consumer friendly you become, because that's how it came out to me. Like what you just said, it's like, hey, the more options we give you, that takes away from the magic. And I'm like,
Yeah. No, I see where you're going with it, and yeah, I mean, consoles are becoming more PC-like. I agree with you, but they're not PCs. They can't do what a PC can do. A PC can play games, sure, but a PC can do other things that a PlayStation can't. A PlayStation can't run Photoshop. A PlayStation can't run Final Cut Pro because it's not meant. Yeah, but it's not meant to. It's a closed off platform. It's meant to play games and watch Netflix if you want to. But even then, it's essentially a gaming house. That's what it's designed for. If you added all this external support to Dreams, they might as well just port it to PC, because the whole thing with Dreams, at least to me, and it's a personal opinion, is Dreams is unique because you are creating stuff within the console itself with what is provided. That's what makes it unique. If you add all this extra support for mouse and keyboard, Wacom tablets, cameras to screenshot stuff and add it into the scene, you might as well just port it to PC and call it a day. That's why.
But not necessarily. Sakku, what do you think?
I think what he said, that consoles are coming to create something on there. That's Dreams 4. That's actually exactly the intention of Media Molecule, at least. That's what Mark always says. He was grown up with the Commodore, where you could create games and play games, and that's what he wanted to do again for people who get a console, who can create their own games and live out creativity, and that's exactly what Dreams is. I think it would be great if it's coming to PC also, especially with the export option, but that would change the whole industry, because then you have a new engine that can export assets and stuff that you can possibly sell and create, sell your games with and stuff. That would change the whole industry then probably even more. So far, Dreams is like the best 3D concept program probably, because you can work insanely fast with it. You can just showcase stuff way faster than in any other program. especially everything in real time. That is the crazy thing. Like, if now even ray tracing or something gets added to Dreams in the future, that would be insane because you can view it all in real time. While, as I said, in Cinema 4D, you need to render like hours to see how it really looks, and that was to me from the beginning one of the craziest things in Dreams. That you can just create anything and see straight away how it really looks like. That was new to me completely, and that was the real magic for me.
I don't,
Yeah, but
I
I
don't
don't
know.
think it's happening.
I don't know.
At
Like
any point
maybe
soon,
I am on the wrong side of this. I feel like having more options doesn't negate it being a console. I just don't. I personally don't see the connection, and maybe that's the issue here. Is that I don't see the connection. Like I really don't.
Like a graphics tablet for Dreams would be great. That would be great as an option. I don't think like the whole PC things happen. Also, we of course know that Media Molecule has their focus on something else, so I wouldn't count on that very soon, if ever.
Yeah, see, that's all I mean. Like when I said it was turning into a PC, I meant that it's just they are literally PCs. Like you said that they can't run Photoshop. Actually, they could. Like
but they're not intended to.
No,
that's the whole point.
And that's good. I don't mind it not being intended to, but that doesn't mean that you can't offer up the same peripherals. Just because you have the peripherals doesn't make it a PC.
The problem is that no one ever thinks about the PlayStation to be a creative tool outside of our community, really. And since Dreams is kind of like the first thing where we can really create stuff on, as in other engines or art programs, like Dreams is so crazy when you think about it. Like you can draw, you can do 3D, you can do animation, characters, games, music, anything, and that's all on a professional level as well. And that's so crazy. That's why I also wrote today. Like €20 for Dreams is so insanely cheap. It's like the cheapest thing you can buy in this world for what's really in it.
Oh, just to note on that, Dreams is actually 50% off at the moment until the 30th of November, I believe. So if you guys know anybody that's thinking about getting into Dreams, spread the word. It's half price right now. It's never been a better time to get into Dreams. It's literally the cheapest creation engine on the market right now.
Yeah.
Well, except the ones that are free, but yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, let me reiterate.
Except the ones that make you a liar.
let me reiterate. It's the cheapest all-in-one solution to creation.
Yeah, definitely.
There you go.
And the most fun one. Let's go.
For sure.
So I guess my last real big question would be, Sakku, what if you could call up Media Molecule, you probably can, but if you could call them up right now and be like, I need this one thing today, like what would be that feature that you're really looking forward to?
Yeah, I mean, I've already said it. I would go for customizable flags if they can do it straight away, just because you have so many crazy options with it.
Okay.
But I would absolutely also love that 3D sculpt opacity. I would love ray tracing. I hope there are all these features still coming. But yeah, we'll see. So far, it seems like really their focus is on features for PS4. I really hope they don't wait too long to actually support the PS5, because I'm really excited to push the limits of Dreams, to also show the world what's actually possible in Dreams. That's also a thing I really like to do, because I think it's still so overlooked. People don't really realize it was like that from the beginning. People were like, "Oh, you can't create realistic things in Dreams." Then we're at this state now where we have almost photorealism in some creations.
Yeah.
And people were always like, "You can't do this in Dreams," or "It all looks fuzzy." That was always the thing in the beginning. But you can do so much stuff, and I always want to show more people and the whole world how the potential of Dreams really is, because it is so much fun as well. Like, it's so much more fun than any other engine. Like, everyone a little bit creative should get into Dreams and just try it out. They will find so much joy in just creating. And I feel like that's something really important about Dream.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like at some point, like following this line of thought, we're probably going to get back into the whole marketing aspect of Sony and Media Molecule, which is
no,
not the best. It's not the best
it's
look.
not Media Molecule's fault. Sony give them a budget and they have to deal with it. It's Sony's fault. They need to give them more money to promote Dreams. They need to do more to get the word out there.
They should definitely do better marketing, like spreading Dreams, how powerful it really is, because the only way Dreams really became popular back when it came out was all the big YouTubers, especially doing all the meme stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of that. They don't really show the whole
Oh no!
creation thing or how many unique stuff is created in Dreams. Like you see it recently in the Pixel Jam, people were creating insanely cool looking retro games. And you can easily do that in Dreams, same as full realistic stuff, shooter, platformer, everything. It just needs a little bit of time and practice. I think that's a really good thing. And one thing I would also love to share is, what we said before, talking about the album I made. And that is something that only Dreams really made possible for me. And that is definitely a thing Dreams can also be on a professional side already now. By you can really export the assets or something into a game, but you can export pictures and videos, and that can also be used professional. I think Martin is on there as well. He also thinks that Dreams can be a great tool to just show the potential of concepts of like film creation, maybe concepts for games, concept art in general, 3D concepts, and all that stuff.
Huge potential.
Yeah. Especially in the conceptual, not because it's not possible to take it further within Dreams, but because it's just that is something that even I, at my level, can see it's good at. Like, it's like, hey, I can put this scene together in a matter of what, like for people who are good, like 15, 20 minutes. I can sketch out this whole thing, make it look almost as good as everyone else, or, in other things that take longer, and just get the show on the road. And
yeah, I have a good example there. I was just recently doing a piece of Unreal Engine. I don't know. I think you saw that.
Yeah.
The artist who did that is absolutely amazing. I love her art. I follow her art a lot. She first learned Unreal Engine, but her scene took her, I think, months. And I did that in like 5 hours. And that is a crazy difference. Yeah. I mean, it's not, of course, on the same level, or you can use it in the same way, but as a concept, I mean, if you take like months against like hours, that is crazy for Dreams. I feel like their Dreams is really stronger than any 3D program. Just the whole world doesn't realize that, or at least not many people.
I just think the reason people don't realize is because they don't know it exists. Yeah, they don't know it exists because they haven't marketed it. They haven't told people about it. I've always said it. Dreams is a not so secret community, and you only know if you're in it how good it is.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
it's such a shame because I think Dreams is one of the most revolutionary things to have ever been brought out in regards to creation.
Ever.
That's my word. I'm always saying that it's the most revolutionary thing that happened in the gaming industry.
And
really.
It's not getting the rep it deserves.
Yeah, though I gotta say, like, a lot of people are just not that creative or have the time to go into it. I know that I've been telling about Dreams all my friends. I've been saying to everyone, "Yo, Dreams, like the craziest thing." They can tell stories about it, but not many of them seem interested. Just because maybe they don't even want to make games. Like for me, oh my god, you can make your own game that easily. That's crazy cool. But they are like not that much into it. They don't want to go this creative way, or they don't also have the time for it. They just want to play something or stuff when they have time.
Well, like if they ever, those friends specifically that I'm now aiming for, I
hope some of them are listening.
Yes, if they're not, just give them the clip. Just give them the clip, and we'll get it out to them. I'll start hitting them up on their personal lines. But what it comes down to is, if any of them play a games as service game, whether it be Destiny or The Division or Marvel's Avengers, which, let's be real, nobody's playing that. And yeah, if any of them are doing that, just be like, hey, well, you could get Dreams, and you have a never-ending catalog of indie games.
Yeah,
That's
also
the way
a
to
thing.
attack those people. I think.
That's a problem. I think
Because
we need.
everybody believes you have to be able to make something, but we all know, everyone in the Dreams community knows, it doesn't matter if everybody makes something if we don't have players. So,
Yeah, that's also true.
so
But
I
we
mean,
really need. Sorry, what I
no.
was
Go ahead. Go
trying
ahead.
is that that's also a thing that was discussed a lot. We really need those showcase games and Dreams. Like I think feature length games that are high quality. That's what we really need, and they're rare so far. That's also because it takes quite a lot of time, and some, like I think yourself as well, like some studios or little indie studios from Dreams are taking quite a longer time to produce something quality. Like my team right now as well. Um, like I think this game, our game will be an indie game that could be everywhere, like from the quality. I think it will become really good, but it definitely takes some time.
Yeah.
The problem is when we
Don't we
have
know
that,
it?
yeah, when we have that game, it's still quite like I don't think not many people will know about it just because it will be in our community. That's why it really needs to get spread more. Like the quality games should maybe also be marketed by Sony. Maybe put them in a trailer on YouTube or put them for free in the PSN store or for little money.
We're getting into my territory.
Yeah, yeah, and then tell them that it was made in Dreams, and then maybe people will actually realize, wow, this is a game that was made
Now,
in Dreams.
here's the thing. I think everything that you're saying is going to happen, but we are just too eager. I think next year and the year after, so 2021
When
and
the beta's over.
2022, when the beta's over, we are going to see a plethora of, let's say, triple A quality games within Dreams. And I think once those games are out and they have all the popularity because we have feature length games that have super fidelity and hyper polished and plenty of content, at that point, I think that's when Sony will jump in and say, we have the content that we needed in the beginning to really promote Dreams to its fullest. So now that we have that, let's use this material to really push it. I personally think that the first 3-4 years of Dreams release is early access or beta, whatever you want to call it. It's for the early adopters to get in, make the stuff that Sony needs to push Dreams, because it's difficult to push something without the content on it. And sure, there is some great games within Dreams, but for the general gamer to be interested in Dreams, whether that be for creation or for playing games, there needs to be some type of premium content, if you will, within the Dreamiverse to justify them getting into it. As of right now, Dreams is very much a indie platform with very short games, simply because it takes so long to make them, especially if you want to make something of high fidelity. But we do know that there are studios out there like yourself, Sakku, like ourselves with Lucid Nebula, and thousands more that's working on these really heavy games. When they come out, I think that's when Dreams is really going to shine.
Yeah, I really hope so as well. Like you can also see it with Cybersheep films. I think their trailer looked absolutely amazing, and that is maybe it's not on that Pixar Disney level, but then again, this is probably a few people that didn't even have much experience in animation, and they come together and make something that looks so great. I would absolutely watch a film of that. And same goes with the games. I think people getting to know Dreams more and more, they're getting better and better, and they know how to do things. Like I'm still learning things. Like I'm 2 years in now, and I'm still learning things almost every day. Like just recently, I was like, oh my god, I never knew about this. This is like crazy good, and that keeps happening. I think that will happen for many people, and the more people really come together, the more creations will happen like this. And I think you're definitely right that we need to have something to really show, because right now we maybe have something insane looking, but it's more like a tech demo or like little scene or something. And that's not enough.
And that's what I mean. I mean, look at the launch of these new next gen consoles, for instance. You know, PlayStation have Demon Souls and Spider-Man, to show off, to say, look, these are our new games for our new console. They have something to push. And for me personally, with Xbox, they have nothing to push because their launch game, which was Halo, was pushed back till next year. So that, to me, makes it difficult to justify buying the console because there's nothing really on there to play against what PlayStation have.
Yeah.
And it's the same for Dreams. Once the content is there, they have everything they need to push Dreams to its fullest potential to get everybody on board. But until that happens, it's very difficult to market something as this amazing place to be when there's only a very select few games that are, I don't want to say worth playing, but what I'm talking in the sense of the general populace that doesn't understand Dreams and what it's for. That they need that content to bring them in to understand that there is more to it than just the premium games. There is lots of little games that are just as good to play, but they still need that big content to market with.
See, while I agree with you on that, I think we already have that. And that's the part that angers me the most. Is we might not have full-fledged 8-hour games, but just showing what people have already done is way beyond what anyone thinks is being done. Dreams, to me, would have been the perfect game to push for the launch of the new system. I really do believe it is. Like, I mean, I personally haven't, like, while Media Molecule has, done their fair share of trying to push some things out during, like, within the community, like, if someone from PlayStation hasn't come across Sakku, hasn't come across Bad Robo, hasn't come across the paintings of Ledbetter, like, or Martin, like, that should be enough. Especially with the format, like I said, the set pieces that Sakku makes, where, like, I don't care who you are. Like, if I'm comparing you to Feng Ju, which I am, like, that is like the perfect, like, quick and easy consumable piece of art that people can appreciate. They don't have to sit down for an hour or 30 minutes or the 15 minutes or however long people have pushed their projects to be. Like, you can look at the image that I have in the background right now on this stream. For those that don't know, go check out Sakku's Mind YouTube. Don't forget to follow, subscribe. That man is God. But
Thank you.
all you have to do is look at this picture and you can immediately be like, hey, that was made on a console. And if I didn't know, I would have thought that this dude worked for some friggin' conceptual art company, like, doing setup for games. And the fact that they aren't pressing that is...
Okay, I get
know.
where you're going. I agree with you, but on the flip side, what you also have to appreciate is yes, there is this great artwork, and there are some really good games on Dreams. It's not enough. I mean, I play Dreams nearly every day, and I find Dreams to become stale sometimes, simply because there is not new creations every day. There is not enough of that big content yet to push it, because if they push it now with stuff like Sakku and Bad Robo and Martin Nebelong's stuff that looks amazing, and some of the premium games that's on Dreams, and I'm using the term premium very lightly, they could push it with that now for sure. There is definitely enough content, but once they saw that content and it dries out, the player base is just going to go again.
It's
going to go back.
This is a game of inches.
If you think about it, like, Dreams is almost like this Xbox Game Pass, just with less quality in it. There's so many games that you can play for free.
Well, we can argue on quality, but no, for real though. Like, I get it. It's just really, when it comes down to it, like, if I'm trying to think of because I get what you're saying, and I'm not discounting what you're saying because I believe that's what they are thinking.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it from a marketing perspective.
I'm sorry, I don't think you've seen everything on Dreams, and I don't think I could see everything on Dreams because we're already at a point where, it's just good. Like, there's so much stuff. Like the thing that's been blowing me away a lot recently is like the emergence of 8-bit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like the
It was
pixel
incredible.
artwork that's going on right now. And I'm just like, there are tons of people who are creating it. And not just what was the one? Pixel Dash? That was the latest one up on the billboard. But not just them. Like the thing we talked about, the Ice Wizard, like Core,
Yeah.
the Ice Wizard. Like that
Yeah,
stuff
that was
blows me
great.
away.
And Nom Nom, that was also really good, and that was made in just 14 days, which is crazy.
Yeah.
By
Yeah,
one
like
person.
so if you have a game like that being made in 14 days, I just can't I can't get behind the idea that you will run out. Like I don't know what the hell how fast you're playing games, but but
Yeah,
but
but
it's
also James just said like dreams can get repetitive or something, but he said he's nearly playing it every day. And when you think about it, which game do you play every day for 2 years straight? That's very rare, I would say.
yeah. So like we need those things that are going to create the microburst. And this is the time where I feel like those microbursts will pay off. Whereas if you let it go for too long, you have to look at how people actually perceive games. Like, if they haven't seen Dreams, or even if they see something from Dreams and they're like, oh, let me look this up. Oh, this existed in PS4. Well, someone who doesn't know the journey of that might sit back and be like, well, I'm not going to get some friggin' old game. Like, I'll wait till they bring out the new one. Who says they're bringing out a new one? Like, there's all types of variables you offer up where we need the people to be hit now, in my opinion. We need the people to be hit now, because even if they were to somehow run out of stuff, I really don't understand how that's possible. But if you were to run out of stuff, like, we got you now, though. And if you ran out of stuff, that means you've seen enough to know that we're not going anywhere. It's only going to get better from here. And having those people coming back every so often, as opposed to those people not even knowing the game exists, I really feel like this is where it could have, where at this launch of PS5 is where it could have been. Basically, they could have made it stick. Whereas right now, even though we know we got this 10-year thing and all of us in the community are like, hey, that's cool. Like, we're going to be here. Like, they've already sold us.
It really depends on Sony and what they're doing with the marketing.
Yeah.
Since it's kind of about everything going more professional as well, I would also love to see artists going more professional and actually being able to earn something with Dreams, because I'm also like, I'm giving my absolute best to make a living with art now, because that's what I absolutely love. But it's quite hard. But that's the cool thing I also wanted to tell you guys. So I came in pretty much with no 3D experience except like the small stuff in Cinema 4D that I did. But Dreams got me so far that I was actually able to create this video album for Sony Music, and that was like for me so personally so crazy, because it was the first big thing that made me into the steps of like a professional artist and also feeling like that. That's something that I think to a lot of people should be possible that are really talented with the stuff or have the passion for it. I think it would absolutely be great if Dreams goes into that professional direction for talented artists, because I'm sure it's opening the way for really talented people that would have never seen the light of the industry otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I just you know how I get. You know how I get in this conversation, because I just want to scream from the mountain. Like, and let people know that the second coming is now upon us, but nobody knows, and it just makes me so
They will.
depressed.
Well, just give it time. Now let's move on from this a minute. I want to ask Sakku about your game that you're working on with your team.
Yeah.
How is that going?
Oh yeah, so I think we released the first trailer 4 months ago or so, and then we didn't release any more information. But in the beginning, it was just me and Kiduku planning it. It was quite funny because it was like that. I was always planning to make my own game that is a little bit like Journey, because I fell in love with Journey. It was one of my favorite, or is one of my favorite games of all time.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, for me personally, it has a big place in my heart as one of the greatest games I ever played, even though it's quite so simple actually. I wanted to make a from the beginning of Dreams. I thought I want to make an experience for player that was for me journey. I was just randomly asking Keduko if he would like to call up on something like that. We met at Gamescom that we also get invited to from MM, which is amazing. Just because of that, I got to know him and stuff, and then we actually started this and thought, okay, let's actually do this. And then we started to plan ideas for the game and stuff, and now we actually got a full team of 10 people with like character artists, music artists, creature sculptor, and now also an animator, luckily. Yeah, we have the full plan for the game. We have the full levels plan. We are on the levels as well. We are all working on it already, and I will soon also be sharing more information about it,
Oh,
so
nice.
that you know the game is an adventure exploration game, 3D, and on this journey you are the Crystal Guardian, and in this world there's this huge world tree, which gives all the power and energy to the nature, and slowly it's losing its power, so you, the Crystal Guardian, needs to collect the crystals all across this magical fantasy world and bring it back to the world tree. Um, you will be facing a lot of fantasy creatures. For example, we have. I'm not spoiling too much now, but we will be revealing some information about it soon. And we keep working on it. We set goals each month now, and I hope that we can release next year. But as I said, we plan to make this really big quality and amazing adventure. And yeah, the cool thing is about developing the Crystal Guardian is also that from environmental art, I also got into level design since I'm designing all the levels by myself. And I really enjoyed that. And I think that is what Dreams also is cool for. You're just diving into new areas that you haven't been in before, and you're just finding so much joy in them. Like now, I really, really enjoy making level design as well. And yeah, I can't wait to share more with you guys as well.
Well, I want to try and squeeze a little more out of you, if I may. Do you have an idea of what sort of length the game is going to be?
It's quite hard, but I would say about probably 3-4 hours.
Okay, so a nice decent length.
Yeah, definitely. I want it to be like a really um, a journey that you can remember as well. Like it has to be emotional, as well as fun to play, of course, and visually stunning. And I'll put all my passion and heart into the world design as well. And the cool thing is that when I got to know Kiduku, he's an absolute pro with the logic and stuff. So we fit together quite well because I've not too much experience with the logic part. So he's doing all the mechanics and stuff. And then we now also have the animator who can then go on and make the polished animation. So it's really nice to work with a team. If someone of the team's listening, I also quickly want to thank them. It's really cool to have such a nice working team, and everyone is just super nice, and you can talk to anyone. And they're working on this project with passion as well, which I'm very thankful because, after all, it is not easy to get people to work with passion for someone else's idea, you know? And
I know that
that's
exactly.
yeah, that's definitely something I'm really thankful for, and I really can't wait until we're progressing with the game. Personally, I'm almost working on it every day as well now, so hopefully we can get more out soon.
So, what account is it going to be released under? Will it be yours, or is there an actual team account?
No, there's no team account. So far, I think you can add 10 collabs in Dreams, right? I think that's why, yeah, I thought about that because that's also really cool. Every one of the team will be a collab of this stream. Yeah, I think we will also be getting out a demo, but I can't tell when yet, since we're still like we're making all the levels at first, so everything is kind of gray box so far. But yeah, I can't wait to get into that state where I can actually also do all the art for the environment. That's also really important because when I do level design and environment art, I always look at so many reference pictures that give me ideas. Like some people might be wondering how I come up or other artists come up out of nowhere with all this stuff, but it's not always like that. Like sometimes I just go in and create and then ideas come, but mostly I actually see something cool on Instagram or Twitter or something,
Mm.
and then I take that inspiration and make my own thing out of it. And I think that's the best way to actually create when, and that's also about your question how to keep getting motivated is looking at other artists and what kind of crazy things they do. I've probably subbed to like 100 3D artists over on Twitter and Instagram, and I just keep getting inspiration every day. And that's something that is really important to me because it motivates me. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. This is so good. And it gives me inspiration for my world, for my art and stuff. And it's also one of the coolest things that are still kind of surreal to me. If I see now someone made a great piece in Dreams and then I comment, hey, that looks so cool, dude. It's so good. And he says, oh my God, thank you so much. You told me everything I learned about this. And I'm like, what? That looks so good. And he learned that stuff from me. That is one of the best things about the whole tutorial kind of
Well,
stuff.
that's
For everyone that's listening, not on the podcast, I'll try to find a way to get it onto there. But I just posted the link to the announcement trailer for the Crystal Guardian. So if you were wondering exactly, you want to see what Sakku is describing and talking about, click that link. You can go and watch his announcement trailer. It's awesome.
Oh yeah, also one super cool thing about the Crystal Guardian is that I've actually been watching a content creator of the Kingdom Hearts series, mainly Sarah Key. I don't know if you know them.
I do.
Yeah, and I asked her if she wants to be the voice actor for this, and she just said yes. That was also a crazy
Oh
moment.
wow,
So we have
that's crazy.
her as our voice actress, and that is also a really cool thing. She also voiced the trailer, by the way.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, and that is really cool as well. I feel like Dreams really opens up these connections because for me personally, it was like that. I applied as the content creator back then for Media Molecule, and I didn't get it because they ended up taking people from the UK. But
Yeah.
then Tom connected me with PlayStation Germany, and then I got to freelance for them, which was
Oh
so
wow.
cool. And then yeah, I did this thing for PlayStation Germany with the album and stuff, and that is just so crazy and still surreal to me. Same as like getting invited to the Gamescom event, and then we also had the release event in Berlin where we German creators got invited to. And just those kind of memories with Dreams alone make it so unique and special to me that is really such a big part of my life that I never want to miss again, really.
Mm.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. Just I've mentioned it a few times, but I still hold on to the fact that I got to voice something that's on Martin Nebelong's channel. Like just that alone, I'm just like, yes, I made it. I'm just like, that's good enough for
Yeah,
me. I'm
yeah,
I'm,
no,
I'm
no.
done. So
Oh yeah, I also just recently voiced the villain in a pretty cool VR game.
I don't
Nice.
have VR.
Wow. Yeah, it's called Dream Night. Play it if you have VR. It's great.
Well, I'll have to
Uh,
check that out.
yeah, and I'm the villain there.
Awesome, awesome.
So another thing to touch on, we've been talking a lot about inspiration and motivators within dreams, and you are obviously one of those people that people look up to. You are quite inspiring with the work that you do and
Yep.
the tutorials that you've done. I assume you get comments every day of people saying how much you've inspired them and how much you've shown them and taught them. How does it feel to come into this platform and then have all this popularity and these people sort of hanging on to you for inspiration and for tutorials to grow within the Dreamiverse?
Yeah, that is actually also really topic to me that means a lot to me personally because even though I should actually be used to it by now, it's still so surreal to me. Everything, like every comment is still surreal to me. I never realize it until like something happens that I just told you, like a comment, a picture that I really find it nice, and then they say, hey, they learned everything from me, or I'm an inspiration to them. I'm like, oh my God, wow, I never expected this. And yeah, there are a lot of people who like are thankful and they're writing like I'm a beautiful soul, what I wrote, and all that kind of stuff is really surreal to me and definitely gives me so much more energy and motivation. There was this one day where I was really feeling down and like no motivation, and then I read one comment that was so full of heart and that I inspiration that I actually got up and recorded something because that motivated me so much. So it really means a lot to me as an artist as well, because when I did video editing, I didn't have much people watching. I was like, before Dreams, I was a big part of the Rocket League community. And
Yeah.
I also did some YouTube videos there, but my peak was like maybe 500 views or something.
Well,
Um,
hmm.
not many people watching, but it was kind of frustrating because I put all my heart and soul into the videos as well, all the editing and creativity. I really wanted, when you create something with all your heart and passion, you want the whole world to see it. And
Yeah, of course.
yeah, exactly. And that was it for me. That was the crazy thing for Dreams. I mean,
Well,
I think it definitely helped that I've been a part of the community since day one and that I've been putting out videos from the beginning as well.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I can just be very thankful, and I hope that the journey goes on because I'm definitely, yeah, for me, it's definitely like that I'm putting in everything into this kind of stuff because it means the world to me.
which brings me to uh, Spicy Waffles Del Rio in chat said, "Seeing what Saku could do kept me going in the early days," and I second that. As well as like this is how much I watch of you. I watch your tutorials and you work on repeat so often that my wife feels like she knows you. And
That is
that
great.
and in the video specifically for this background image that we
Oh,
have
that
on screen
video.
right now,
Mm.
you had mentioned how you had been having a hard time like with motivation as well as some other things in life. And my wife told me, and I've remembered now because I'm awful, but I remembered now. My wife was like, when you talk to him, make sure he's okay. And so people care about you and that you are able to create and inspire. And, you just spent quite a few minutes talking about how much that surprises you and everything. And, but just know, and at those moments, that's very normal for artists. Know at those dark moments that there are people out here that actually have invested interest in seeing you be as bright as you can be. And
Yeah,
so,
and that also is amazing. That is so incredible. I'm so thankful that I have those people really caring because I've definitely also had a really, really hard time going through dreams. A lot of things that I probably won't be talking here, but
yeah,
I definitely want to get this message out here for everyone suffering from really deep depression or anything that happened. I've also gone through this kind of things. I lost my mother really early, like 2 years ago, and I'm just 24, which was really hard. And I've had a lot to suffer from many different things, but that was also something like when it was the darkest times, dreams has always helped me as well because I always say it like that. Just the joy of creating something, seeing it come to life, that is something that was always there and that never goes really. Like you can be down when you, especially when you have depression. It's really hard to get up as well to creating something. But
yeah,
when you actually start on something and you really see that coming to life, when I create worlds or scenes, like I see how this world comes to life, how all my fantasy or thoughts about it come to life. It is so amazing to visualize that in 3D.
Mm.
And then I think, wow, I've created this, and this is the moment where I'm like smiling, I'm happy, it gets me excited. Like I'm always, when I create something that I really like, I'm always excited to share it with people.
I mean,
yeah,
the video that you did with the background that we have on stream now, For those that are listening on audio, it's the scene where the two characters are fishing over this beautiful fantasy city.
It's called
The-
Sky Kingdom time lapse on Sakku's YouTube.
there you go. That particular video for me really struck how good you are at creating. The whole video is just beautiful, especially with the remix Final Fantasy VII soundtrack going on in the background. It just really hit home for me. But when you're creating like this bridge and all the details of the little holes and stuff that you're putting into it, and that's being put so far back in the background, but yet you've took the time to really put intricacy
Oh,
into
that's really interesting because I was worried that there's not enough detail when I created it.
Wow. Wow. It's just wow.
It's just crazy, you know. You put all these minute details, all these little holes and curvature and little lights and stuff, and then you cover it all with clouds because you have to you know, to make the scene sort of realistic, if you will, so everything looks like it's in the right position. And the fact that you say there's not enough detail just really goes to show the dedication to your work within Dreams is far superior than anything I've ever seen. And before anyone asks, yes, Bad Robo and Martin Nebelong, they make fantastic work. But for me personally, the attention to detail, Sakku is number one. I've not seen anything like it. You are just such a perfectionist with your work, and it shows in such a
Oh,
premium way. It's brilliant.
first, thank you so much. I really appreciate all your words. Really, it really means a lot to me. And what you said about the perfectionist, that is actually crazy. I hate it. That is like one thing about me that I hate so much because it is so crazy. Like the perfectionism is so bad at some point. Like for example, I'm just making an example. I don't want to play games that I don't like because if it's in my trophy list, I hate to see it there. That's how that's how bad it is. Like, and that all definitely goes into Dreams. Like I definitely had some times where I did scenes for 4 or 5 hours and then I deleted everything because I didn't like it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. And that's also one thing I worry about our game, that I want to put in too much detail. That's a thing as an artist as well, for sure, where you need to make cuts and say now it's finished.
Yeah.
That's also a good thing about Dreams, though, because
It
in
makes you
Dreams,
cut.
I would say I would say Dreams makes it easy to work loose, you know, just like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
fast and not in perfection. Maybe the imperfection in Dreams is perfect to me, if that makes sense.
I mean, another point to add is you're a real artist in the sense of staging. Like you have such a great scope for lighting in your scenes. You just know where to put the lighting to get the right shadows, and that in itself is an art form. Being able to light a scene correctly. To me, like, you know, I've watched countless videos on how lighting works in Dreams and the best positional places to put cameras and lighting so that, you know, the light bounces off objects in the right way to portray the right emotion that you're trying to perceive. You know, it's such a skill set in its own, and it to me it just seems you do it so flawlessly, especially with the scene that we're talking about now. You know, you created all of these assets, and then when you went to the lighting aspect of it, it just changed the scene completely. And it's such an important factor, but it just seems that you do it so flawlessly, and it's such a gift, and I wish I could do what you could do.
Yeah, that is definitely also an interesting point. And one thing that maybe excites you is that I definitely plan on making a full guide on lighting and atmosphere in the future.
Indeed.
Look forward
Many
to that.
people, including me, could benefit.
Yeah.
But one thing I wanted to bring up, and not trying to sound pretentious, but like what you were saying about perfection. Like I've always found perfection to be annoying, but I believe that like beauty is found in perfection's flaw. And I feel like when you can hit that point, that's when it's really perfect. Like everything as it everything as a whole creates the idea of beauty rather than perfection. And to follow up on Jamie, that's where your art and other artists that I find to be godlike, that's where it sits for me. So whenever people are judging their own art, and what I just told Disobey Gaming in chat, because he says, I hope to get on their level someday. And I wrote that just recognize that you are on their level in your style, because a lot of people never realize that. Like, they feel like their work has to look like other people's in order to reach that level. Whereas they don't understand when they've already reached the level, but it's in their style. Everything is cohesive. Everything is beautiful, even with imperfections flaw. So with that, I would just like to nail that home, because like a lot of people do not understand when they've reached that point, and it can torment artists. So definitely, guys, just, there's two people baking a cake. To follow that meme, there's two people baking a cake, and that guy's cake might be awesome, but you made a cake, and everybody that walks up to the table is just like, hey, there's two cakes. So
Yeah.
do what you do and be happy with where you reach. And of course, we're always going to strive to be better. But, don't. If I compared myself to Sakku, if I compared myself to Sakku or Martin, I'd be dead. There would be one host of this podcast, okay? But I do realize that there is my own style that I'm striving for. So, like, don't torment yourself with that. Like, these dudes are gods. But we too can be gods with lowercase g's. Anyway, the point is
lowercase g.
lowercase g's. Okay, come on, let's be realistic. No, but yeah, I just really do think that is an important point, because I think it is that depresses most artists. Is the fact that we all have these idols that we look up to and we love their art. I should put it in my realm, because as always, I bring it back to film, baby. As always, like, there are times where I've went to see the films of people that I love. Like, I'm just like, they're the best in the business. And I've left the theater being like, can you do something that good? Can you really? And then I have to remember, like, I'm not trying to make their movie. I'm trying to make mine. And I don't think they could make mine as well as I could. So
that is also a really good point for sure. I think there's always two sides to that when looking up to something. You can, one, either get inspiration, motivation to be better, or you can depressed about because you're not that good as them, or actually not even close.
yeah,
And I think it's always, one thing I learned is it's always about perspective, how you really see something, how you want to see something. You really have the choice. Like, do you see something as, oh my God, I'm so bad compared to them? Or do you see, like, they're so good, I want to be as good, I want to become better, I want to take that inspiration and take it into my own thing. And I think I developed my whole style because what you said is absolutely right. Everyone has their own style. And that is really good because that makes it really unique from person to person.
yeah,
I've definitely developed my style. Like, maybe you see my art now as like so good, but I've been no, I was horrible back in the beta and creating in Dreams. I was so happy in the first moment when I actually got to look at grass by just putting a flag on it. I didn't know anything about it. I just learned all of these things on my journey, and I definitely keep improving still. And I know there's still so much room to grow. Like, another thing I wanted to mention is that it's definitely a thing when you keep working on something and that's for a longer time, you kind of keep losing track of how good something is. That was the biggest problem for me working on the album. It was for a period of like 3 months, and I worked on it every day, almost full time. Um, it was so hard because you keep working on it, you keep working on it, you create something, and then you really start wondering because you see it all the time. Is this actually good? I was really wondering, is this even good? Can I even show this to them? Isn't it horrible? But every time the response was it is like really crazy good and stuff. And I'm just realizing that I actually created something good because I kind of keep losing track of how good something really is. And that is a problem that many artists definitely have when working longer on a project. What I recommend you there is definitely getting in opinions from others and search for that feedback, because that's important as an artist in general. So always search feedback if you want to improve, maybe from the people you look up to or that are reachable for you.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's definitely a problem for artists in general, no matter what the field. I mean, you are your worst critic, and
Of
you're
course.
always going to see the flaws in your own creation. And like you said, it's very important to have feedback from people that is outside of the project. As Spicy Waffle says, Jammy is a master feedback.
Master feedback in our project. Yes. Yes.
So yeah, I completely understand, and my team completely understands where you're coming from, because I'm a very big critic when it comes to the perfectionism of our project.
Except when I do something. Oh yeah, I'm just
Uh,
but yeah, and the thing is like, yeah, it's just really important. It really is important to realize where you are in your journey, and you know, it's hard. It is hard for artists simply because of the fact that we're literally waiters. Like when you really look at it, and I used to say back in the day, to bring this into perspective, that I would never work a job where my pay was decided by the good graces of another person. And I'd say this as an artist, where that is the dumbest thing you could possibly say, because that's exactly what you're doing, and I didn't realize it. Like when I was younger, because I had family that worked in the service industry, and like as a kid, I'm like, I'm never gonna do this. I'm like, oh crap, I draw.
It's definitely a critical point as an artist. For sure.
Yes. And so like you know, and you become one of those hermit people when you take that to heart and you start thinking like that, where it's like, I don't care what they think of my art. My art is the greatest. It'll be recognized by no one because I'll never show anybody. And you know, so I mean, I just, that just brought back a funny, just the realization of what I had said, as opposed to like when I realized what I was saying was completely idiotic, because it's my life. It's what it's what my actual gift is and subjects me to. So yeah, I mean, it
is really important though to be open for
it's a
critics,
journey.
that
just
starts
really
where
is.
I
And
think this is.
thank you for joining us, Frags. So is there? Oh, I totally forgot, and I want to go over this before we get you know, towards the end, because I don't know what else we need to talk about. But we had done another pick of the week, and our pick of the week this week is Dogs Run and Dogs Run Generations by Angela J. I'm not sure how to say it. I've done voiceovers for this person for a game that's coming out at some point. But I think everyone should play this game, because it's the perfect example of what we've just been talking about, where if you play Dogs Run, it's impressive. But then you play Dogs Run Generations and you see how much this creator has grown and learned. And it's like it's almost like Dogs Run was the sketch, whereas Dogs Run Generations is the full fruition of the idea. And seeing that growth within a creator in Dreams, in my opinion, is what Dreams is all about. So if you get a chance to play Dogs Run and Dogs Run Generations, which you can access both through the same gameplay hub on Dreams, I would advise you do it.
It is. It's such an amazing game, and what I loved about it so much, it was so refreshing to play as an animal in Dreams, and it was just really different to look at that side and play as a creature that wasn't a human. And for me, it really brought back some memories of playing a game called Dog's Life on PS2. And again, in that time, it was so refreshing to play as an animal as opposed to a human. And it's not seen enough in games, and it's really well made. It's a really cute dog, and you can bark on command whenever you want. And it's really fun, and it's different, and it's well worth a play. So definitely check it out.
I think I've played the same game on PS2. I'm not sure. But one game I want to mention here, if you really like those kind of games, there's one indie game from a German developer. They it's Lost Ember. Do you know that?
Yes.
I do. Yes.
That is a really good game where you play as a wolf. And
Yes.
that was a really interesting, unique journey as well.
Lost Ember. It was like basically the journey. It was basically Journey with a wolf. So,
And longer.
and longer, and it had very interesting aspects to it. I will say that.
I like the
But I
switching
did
part
enjoy
as
it
well.
thoroughly. Which, to James, to go off of what you said about the, playing as an animal, it's honestly why because Dreams is all I have time for really anymore, as an older gent. And so, like, one of the games that interests me the most in PS5 was that one they showed the trailer for, where you play as the cat. I think it's called Stray.
Yeah, I
Where
was
you're
really
a
looking
cat
forward to that too.
in the
Yeah, that
the,
looks really interesting.
yeah, like you're in a robot world and you're a cat, maybe delivery person. There's a lot to decipher from that trailer, but
Oh yeah.
And
but
that cool sci-fi setting. So it's such an interesting setting for a cat as well.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's really intriguing.
So, and I really do feel like as more people get into this, through this generation, and even as you brought up, Sakku, on your video about next gen, the idea that Dreams is, if it sticks to the 10-year plan, is going to exceed PS5.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
the idea of that is so intriguing to me, and what we could have in 8-9 years.
Oh. Oh boy.
I hope once their 10 years plan, whatever is done, they come up with Dreams 2 or something, honestly.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I don't think there'll be a Dreams 2. I think it'll always just
I
be
hope
Dreams.
there's a
It'll just-
Dreams too.
I think it would just be an upgrade, like, just more stuff, just keep adding to it and adding to it.
Yeah,
I want them
hopefully.
to be a Dreams 2. I want there to be a Dreams 2. And the reason I say this is because I want them, as you said, like, it's going to come down to whether we get the actual 10 years of development is going to come down to whether or not they can make a monetary gain off of Dreams.
And that's
as
the
it-
hard thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as it is right now, they can and they probably will. But the idea that while we're working on getting all this other stuff, if there's like one person at Media Molecule that's sitting back going like, but what comes next? And if they start remaking the Bubble Bath engine for what it could be, then the moment he breaks it or she breaks it or whoever team breaks it, I'm willing to pay them $90. I'm talking about the definitive. I get a figurine of an imp. I'm talking about the definitive edition. I'm willing to buy a new Dreams tomorrow if they bring it out to me.
And then someday there comes Dreams Remake, Dreams HD 2.5 Remix.
Yep. And then there's like Dreams Souls Edition where it just comes into your house and starts beating you up.
Now,
Like,
one thing though about the marketing, what I thought is like the greatest idea. The Disney films and stuff, they're great, but they're making all their money from merchandise. Why did Media Molecule not do merchandise? I would totally buy something, and I know lots of other people would do too.
They are working on it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
They are. I do know they are working on it.
Yeah, that's definitely a good thing. I think that should have been a thing way earlier because it's quite worrying. How do they
Well, yeah, I
actually
mean,
make money? Only by
can you imagine
selling
if
the game.
they brought out imp plushies? I mean, I'd buy them all.
Yeah.
I want all of them.
Yeah, that's the
No,
thing. I think so many people would buy merchandise, and then you could also think about maybe how can you make money out of a game otherwise? Maybe DLC, but then what's again is it Dreams DLC? Maybe to Art's Dream.
Well, I mean, there's different ways you could look at it. I mean, one thing that I thought about before is Media Molecule have actually managed to 3D print from Dreams.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
obviously they're doing that off console. I mean, they have the ability to. They've got it on PC and everything, so that makes it a bit easier. But I was thinking of the idea: what if they brought out a 3D printer that plugs into your console that is specifically for Dreams and Dreams alone? I mean, I know for a certain fact I'm buying one of those day one to be able to create something in Dreams and then 3D print it.
like they
It's a
did for
no-brainer.
Rock Band.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you could create your own singer, guitarist, or whatever, and then give it to them, and they print out do the 3D prints of the character. Yeah, I'll do that.
yeah,
I would
what
love
is
to
so
do that.
cool.
Yeah, but instead of giving it to them, you can do it yourself.
I'd rather pay their. Like I said, I'm just a person willing to throw my whole bank account at at Media Molecule. So if they were to make it an actual proprietary thing where I had to pay them for it, I'd
I'm good either
willingly
way.
do
I'm
it.
good either way.
I'd willingly do it. Be like, I'm waiting for Abby and Kareem to just take all my money, all of them.
Oh,
You're
that's
welcome.
also a good thing. I
Yeah.
think people like Kareem and especially Maya, I would love to see Maya. They should do streams where they do art. I would love to watch that. I think we have that, not enough.
Yeah, I mean Kareem does streams every now and then. Maybe I've been missing some, but he hasn't been doing any lately. But he
He's been
used to
quiet,
do them
hasn't he?
all the time.
Yeah, not in a while. And Maya hasn't
Yeah.
streamed once, which is horrible. I would
Well-
love to see her stream.
Well, I mean, and I know I keep saying this, and I know y'all probably think I'm full of shit at this point, but but we are still in talks with Abby and Kareem to have them on the podcast. So as far
I
takes
as
a
told them
while.
quite a few times already.
yeah, as far as we know, we're just waiting for PlayStation to okay it. So
Oh,
as soon as they get back to them, we'll have them on the podcast.
Oh, I'm
Um,
so excited.
That
Yeah.
would be great. I would also see John sculpting landscapes. I would love to see that.
We need to just
Oh.
see more of John work on his
Period.
train game. We just need more of Beach Corp content. I mean, I've
Yeah.
never been so excited to play a train game in
And-
all my life.
Yeah, and he needs to add planes, please.
Oh, he needs to. He's going to add everything. That game ain't coming out for another 5 years. He's just
But-
going to keep adding and
But
adding.
when it comes out,
Oh boy, when it
the
comes
lotion lobby will be open.
out.
24-hour sale.
Oh
All
my
the
God.
fragrances and nipple lotions and essences and fragrances will be on the counter. And we will be there. We will be there. Okay? So
Oh, you're not going to let this go, are you?
never.
At all.
I
No.
told you this was never. I told you when you first reached out to you were like, "Yo, man, what are we gonna do about this lotion lobby? Like, I don't like that shit. I'm not leaving it to you because you obviously don't recognize gold when it's when it's.
Do
in
you
front of
understand how bad the lotion lobby sounds?
And that's why it's great.
Oh no, it's not. Not
Because
when it's
all
linked to me.
like okay, let's go along now. Saku, you join us on this conversation, okay?
No, let's just
Here we
end
go.
it.
Nope. Saku, you're here now. You're here now. We got you.
Oh,
You're
no.
cornered. Now, what do you think of when you think of the lotion lobby? Does it?
Yeah,
does it?
that says
does-
it all. That
does
says it all.
No. Let me ask you this, like, because I imagine a place like a jewelry store, like high-end jewelry store. Except all they have are think of a jewelry store, but at the tier like Bed Bath and Beyond, but at the tier of a high quality jewelry store. Like it's a
I don't
place
know.
where you go
When-
into and you're like, the fragrances make me want to be alive. That's what I say.
when I hear you talking about it, more sounds like a sect or a cult to me.
Like a what?
Oh.
Like some sect.
And I have defeated myself this day, and therefore. But that's why you tune into the Maiden Dreams podcast.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
So,
Yeah.
is that y'all's co-op shop? Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to make it out here so that we can have the greatest merch. Look, we got merch in the product. We got the Mind Grapes merch, because y'all know I'm the megalodon of the Mind Grapes. And then I'm trying to get him. Look, this is how good it is. This is how good the lotion lobby is as a concept. Okay? Jamie hates it. But after I said it in stream, even though he hated it, he came up with a shirt design for it. Because even
Great
his
supporter.
subconscious knows that it is gold.
He just doesn't want to support it in public.
Yeah, he just doesn't want. He's flipping on me. Like I told him, when my mind grapes get fermented down into a fine wine, and I start spreading out these ideas, it's gold, baby.
All right,
you just gotta run with it.
Let's put it this way, okay? If chat thinks that it's a great idea, hit me up on Twitter at Lucid Nebula. Let me know, and if there's enough want for it, I will consider it. How's
He's
that?
the Twitter man.
How's that?
Yeah, we're gonna put it up on Twitter. We're gonna
I'll
put it up on
poll.
Twitter.
I'll put
See,
a poll up.
Frag said I would buy it. We got our first vote right there, baby. First vote right there.
Right.
By the way, I'm not watching the Twitch. How many viewers do you guys actually have?
Currently 24.
Oh, not bad.
No. We do okay around here.
We do all right.
We do okay.
We do all right.
We do okay around here.
It is so cool. I said it before the stream already. It is so cool that there actually is a Dreams podcast, because I really like to listen to podcasts while creating. That's also something I can tell you guys as a tip. I really like to listen to our podcasts while creating about specific topics as well. I feel like that's also something that motivates you, that gives you insights, that maybe even helps you to improve, because they also come up with nice tips. And yeah.
Okay, I just want to throw out that we're already at a 3-0 lotion lobby. Okay, just for the record. But yes, Sakku,
I will put up a poll.
You know how you said like you use dreams, and then dreams became that thing where you weren't expecting people to recognize you, like you were just doing things, and to get this type of feedback really inspired you. Well, that's how I feel about this podcast.
Agreed.
Because
it's amazing.
Because this podcast, for me, I've done tons of podcasts before. And I've worked hard in my real life as well as my digital life. And never have I believed in the idea that hard work pays off. I work hard, but I've never seen it pay off until this podcast. And so, while I'm thankful for every one of the people that have ever come through the doors of this podcast to listen to us speak. And it's just another way that you never know what's going to work.
And one thing I can add, like, I've never been in a podcast before, and I was maybe not nervous, but I was maybe a little bit nervous before the podcast. But I think you guys are doing it great. You guys are making people comfortable to talk with about different topics. You guys keeping the topics going well. And about the whole thing, that this is the kind of thing for you guys. I think everyone in Dreams has that in their own kind of thing, because if it's just like you're uploading a creation and then you're getting comments in the Dreamiverse, I think that means a lot to people as well. And then maybe you have it as a YouTube content creator, or on Twitter or other socials, or in the Dreamiverse. I think everyone can find this in their own, and that's why I really also recommend everyone to go on this Dreams journey and see where you're going, because it is really exciting.
Indeed.
Definitely.
It really is.
Definitely.
100%.
and see where it leads you. And this is why, to get back to the original point, that you need, like, we need to do it. Somebody have a contact at Sony. Does somebody have a contact at Sony? Because I feel like I need to talk to somebody. I really
I'm telling
do.
you, Will is the right person to be the ambassador for Dreams.
I really am. The Emperor of Dreams, who literally can't do half of what everyone else can do.
But he can sure as hell talk up Dreams.
But I can talk the game, okay? Straight up Ric Flair style. I will talk the talk, even if I can't walk the walk. So
you're doing like the whole Dreams Empire.
yeah, I mean, I really don't understand why this game does not rule the world. And I'm not joking. Like, I don't understand why this game does not rule the world. I spent the last 15 years of podcasting and arguing with friends about two topics. One, why hasn't educational gaming come back? It was huge when I was a little kid. Well, now I know I'm older than most.
That's also great for stuff like the science jam, stuff like that. Like, people can learn about things through these kind of things as well.
Yeah,
I
Dreams
learned
should
stuff
be
from the science jam.
Dreams should be in every single art class in the country. I truly believe it. If you are a kid,
it would be great, but then again, you gotta think that there's at least like 2 weeks you need to get into Dreams when using it actively.
and that's what's beautiful about it being in classrooms. You literally don't have a choice. Like, if no.
You
Hear
will
me
use Dreams.
Hear me out. So, look, if you, like, when I was in school, I had art class no matter what. And if I had this when I was young, I would be literally a god. Like, you know that PC Master Race icon people use with the long flowing hair? That would be me if I had this when I was younger. And the idea that this exists now and kids don't have it is insanity to me.
Yeah, that is true. I can also tell a story about that because I'm living in a flat with my best friend and his little son who is 5 years old, and he's already very excited about Dreams, about the games, and he kind of wants to build, but it's obviously way too hard.
Yeah.
So
but
he's really excited. I'm just making like fun stuff for him really quickly, like I'm making some physical balls that are bouncing down and just making a little level for him that he can walk in, and that is so exciting for him already. And he's like, "Can you build another thing and stuff?" And that was really cool to see. And he was also so excited about Hammer Time. He called it the best game ever.
That warms my heart.
Yeah.
That really does. And that's what I feel like everyone needs to see. Like I said it last or 2 podcasts ago. I have a friend who is one of the most creative people I've ever known. And she played Little Big Planet. Like, she loved Little Big Planet. She had no idea that Dreams existed.
Yeah.
That is
I
a
probably
tragedy.
wouldn't have known without someone showing it to me.
Yeah. All of her kids are creative. And I was like, yo, you want to do a favor to them children? You go and you get Dreams. Because the idea that they're already creative and then you have the outlet, Roblox and Minecraft should not exist. Not anymore. Not with Dreams. And I truly believe that.
Well, I think Roblox doesn't exist anymore, right? And Minecraft,
You
I would
think
say,
that,
is
but it
quite
has
different.
quite a following. Its following would surprise you.
But yeah, it's definitely, video games are always a cool thing for kids. Like I started gaming with 5 years old on the Super Nintendo.
Yep.
If I had Dreams back then, that would be a whole different kind of thing. And I think when people, like kids, are really excited, like for example, the 5-year-old of my best friend, he's like really excited about every kind of single game. I'm always looking for games that he can play. if he becomes a little bit older and actually also starts creating this kind of thing, I think that's a whole new level of creativity, because to me, dreams is also the best creative outlet in the whole world that you can get.
I'm about to go get my wife pregnant just so I can have a kid that I can give dreams to. Hey, yo, I'm gonna have my wife next week on the podcast, and we're gonna let y'all know. That's Look, but I really like, all jokes aside. I'm not joking about the wife thing though. All jokes aside, like, I really do feel like, because I'm gonna get deep on y'all real quick.
Oh, here we go.
I believe that my generation, because I'm not part of, like, let's throw out the millennial tag. Like, we've had generation Y, Z, blah 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 blah. My
Wait,
generation.
Can I ask how old you are?
Yeah, I'm 39. I just turned 39 October 21st.
All right, cool.
And I'm not ashamed of my age, by the way. I have lived long
why
enough.
Would you?
Hey, a lot of people get real protective of their age around this point. I'm not, because I have lived long enough to know that a lot of people didn't make it here. So anytime
but I can tell you, most of my viewers on YouTube are between 25 and 50, I believe.
Yeah, because they know. They know. The real world is set in.
Yeah, I love that the Dreams community is older in general. It's such a difference, especially when I came from the Rocket League community, there were like a lot of young people.
Mm-hmm.
And they were also really toxic and stuff, and Dreams is like the contrast, really.
It's just beautiful.
Straight opposite. Yeah.
Cooperative community. A real cooperative community.
Yeah, and they're like 60 years old, even 70 years old, I think, in Dreams. There are a lot of older people, and I feel like that's also a part of why the Dreams community is like really nice to each other, or supportive as well, more than others.
Yeah. This game should own the fucking industry right now. And I mean, I don't know if people don't agree with me.
I love the passion so much.
I just don't understand how it doesn't. I just don't understand how it doesn't. No lie. Like, I would have killed to have this game when I was young, when it was when old little Mighty Junior was back in, like, 1984, just about to go into the first grades of school or whatever, and I'm sitting here playing, like, Word Blaster and Oregon Trail and all this stuff. And I'm like, like, if I had dreams back then, the type of person I am now would be completely different.
Yeah, I think it changed all of us in some way.
Yeah,
probably,
and the idea
probably
that
always in a positive way. That's a cool thing.
And the idea that they're not kids, like, gaining an advantage in life, not just in what's fun and what's cool, but this game could be used to gain an advantage in life. As far as getting a step up on what you love to do, being able to execute what you love to do at a level that can be marketable before you can even get a job legally. Like, that is something that everyone's missing out of, that doesn't know that this game exists. That breaks my heart.
Yeah, it really is really sad how there are not much people.
It will change.
Hopefully you're right, yeah. Hopefully within the next years.
Just give it time. I mean, Dreams is so early right now. It's in its literal baby steps.
Bro, the ice cap's going to be gone in a few years. We ain't got time. No, I'm just playing. I'm just I mean, I'm not. They are. But the point is that, like, it was a joke in the intention. But, yeah, you know what you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just that's why I sound so passionate, because it literally comes down to, I wish I had this. I really do. Like you're talking to somebody now, no woe is me's or tears on the table, but you're talking to someone that like I wanted to play guitar my whole life. Okay? Like I wanted to play since I was like 4 years old. And I didn't get to play guitar until I could buy myself a guitar when I was 23. And I love my guitar, but I cannot help but think how good I would be at it if I started when I was 4. And that's how I feel about dreams and what people are missing.
That's always a critical point, though. If you think like that, it's also the example. I kind of I think like that sometimes as well, but it's not really something you should keep. Like, if I would grind hard, I would be better right now. Or you should always stay focused at like what's right now and what you can do now to become better in the future, because that's a really important point for a whole artist thing in general as well. Always stay present. That's more than just like a stereotype kind of thing you say. It is really important also for health reasons, what I learned. That you really stay in this present moment and see what you can do right now for yourself, especially.
Yeah, but as with anything, and what you would hope, and I'm sorry, I'm getting this way.
I get you, though. I get
Yeah,
you.
but see, I am present for me because the fact that I get to like I can play. I've made over 30 songs on guitar, and I love the guitar, and I have that thought, but I also put that into perspective of my life. And but the reason I'm this way about dreams, it's the same reason like you want to give like in your later life when if you were to have kids, every parent's dream is that their kids will have it easier than they had it. And what I'm saying is that right now, I personally don't have any kids, but I think of kids and what they could have now. And that's where my passion comes from. Where even though I don't have kids, I know what it would have been like if I had these tools at a young age. So it seems criminal to me for kids to not have the tool of dreams at their disposal. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna start looking into a charity of some kind. I'm gonna try to see if I can. I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna give it to low income people.
Hashtag dreams for kids, guys.
Yeah, I'm about to create that joint. Real talk, because I mean that's really what it comes down to. Like
I really get you, though. It would be a great thing for kids, especially. Yeah, it is quite hard for very young kids, but at the age or 8 or older, I think it would be great, because it is definitely like kids also need to live out their creativity, and if they can do it in this and see success as well, that is really helpful for them and maybe shapes their character with it as well. So I feel like that would be a great thing, and also something early they can be proud of, because you always have that feeling, right? When you created something that you really enjoy yourself or like yourself or others like it and give you great feedback, you can be proud of yourself to have made something and you grow from it as well. I feel like that would be a great thing for kids in the early age as well.
Yeah. We need to look into it.
I'm not opposed to the idea. I actually really like the idea.
Yeah, we both like the idea.
I think we've gave birth to something today.
Yeah, I think we did. Now we just need to go ahead and get that set up. We'll start working on it. Hopefully, we'll have enough of it put together by next week, and we can start talking about it for real. But
for real.
But yeah. So
I think we're about wrapped up.
I think we are. Is there anything else you would like to bring to the table, Sakku?
I just want to really thank you for the podcast, because it was a lot of fun. Really surprised me how fun it was. And
thank you. No worries.
And
always a pleasure.
Also for your nice words. I really appreciate them. And I don't know, I haven't looked at the chat or something. I'll probably watch it again and see what people said. But I'm really thankful for everyone supporting me. Just want to get it out there again. And I really appreciate that. And I'll keep giving my absolute best for the community as well. Like, one of my main goals for the YouTube channel as well is like share dreams with the world. That's always the thing. And also, of course, to help others. And that is so great to me to see that, for example, my Ultimate Beginner's Guide has over 70,000 views, and that it helps so
Wow.
many people is so crazy to me.
Amazing.
And
Yeah.
also to just think about it, that 70,000 people listen to what I said, how you can start dreams and stuff is crazy to me.
Yeah.
And yeah, I will just keep doing my best to share it with the community. I'm glad that there are people out there like you guys who also think some of the stuff about how dreams should be more popular in the industry and how we can actually make this. I think the community is really something special, and I'm sure everyone in the chat is as well. So yeah, thank you so much for listening as well. Thank you for inviting me, and I really, really enjoyed it.
No worries.
Awesome. And you are welcome back anytime.
Yeah, I would love to
Anytime.
join again.
Definitely when your game is out. We want you back. We need to talk about it once it's out.
Oh yeah, I can tell. I'm also working on another game just with my mate Kiduko. I'll probably soon be working on stream on that.
Nice.
Awesome. Awesome. So everybody go and follow Sakku on everything possible. YouTube, on Twitter, everything. Show him love.
Instagram, Twitch, Reddit.
Yes.
And
Everything.
dreams. And dreams.
And dreams.
Yes.
And
You know,
dreams.
go out there, do that thing. And we'll be back next week. We're switching it up next week.
Oh, yes.
I want to
Yes.
I want to go ahead and I kind of made this decision without Jamie.
No, I'm all in. It's a special episode. It's
Okay,
nice.
it's a special episode. I have a friend of mine coming in who does media marketing. And I've seen a lot of people, because of dreams, start to venture into streaming and trying to create a brand online. Well, my friend does brand management and media marketing. So I want to bring him on to talk with people about how to create your brand online and to get yourself work on getting yourself a following and what your intentions are to grow within and outside of dreams.
Yeah,
So
that seems very interesting. You should definitely ask him as well how he would actually market dreams, because I think we can agree dreams is actually a hard thing to market, but
yeah.
it would be interesting for
Definitely
sure.
something we'll bring up.
So that's what we're doing next week. And once again, I have to say to Sakku, thank you. It is honestly just so big of a pleasure to have you here. It really is. I can't get over just talking with you is awesome to me. So
It's just this podcast has opened up so many opportunities for us. I mean, both Will and I, as you know, are massive fans of Dreams, and we see all these amazing creators on YouTube and on Dreams, and it's such a pleasure to be able to just talk to you guys and you know, get it from the horse's mouth of how your process works and your journey in Dreams. It's a real pleasure. So it's as much as a pleasure for us to talk to you as it is for you to be on the podcast. So thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much. Also, one last little interesting thing. I was actually wondering if I should ask you guys to join, but then I thought, isn't that weird if I ask? So I was like happy when you asked that I could be on the podcast, actually.
That's amazing.
believe me, you've been. I was working up to like sending someone for you. Yeah, I was like, I don't think we've proven ourselves enough yet to have the big man.
We ain't worthy.
So
no,
yeah,
you guys are absolutely worthy. As of everyone else's, to give me a message or something. Don't be afraid, like I was.
like I was. Well, we are going to go to the fan favorite. I'm going to send everybody over to Elka Gaming so that you can see he's currently working on more stuff regarding Aang and
Avatar,
Slacklines.
let's go. Yeah, I love Avatar.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Both the comic and the movie by James Cameron.
indeed. So everyone,
Sorry.
again, thank you for joining us. We'll be back next Friday at 3 p.m. EST, 8 p.m. BST?
GMT.
GMT. I always get that
Today
mixed
it was
up.
9 p.m. BST.
BST is British summertime. So
Ah, gotcha.
It's not
gotcha.
recent anymore, right?
Yeah, it's no longer summer, so.
So don't listen to me. It's GMT.
Yeah.
And join us next week, and we will get some great stuff down. All right?
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Later.